To know Fromville is to know fear. To beat this place, break the curse, you must face fear head on.
When you're on a quest, you have to face the scary things. That's how you take their power away.
Even when it seems like there's no hope of ever leaving this place alive.
Not every story gets a happy ending.
None of us are getting out of here alive.
You can either lay down and die.
You still must try. You must protect each other and take care of each other.
Or we can say, fuck you.
That's what matters. Not the decisions we make or whose fault it was, but how we take care of each other.
She said they were holding on to hope. And when that hope was gone, they held on to each other.
Throughout this episode, we have several reminders that the goal of the bad forces of this place is to break you.
This place wants us to blame ourselves. It wants us to be scared.
But not just to break your will, but to break your connection to loved ones, to make it so you fail the ones you care about, to forever be haunted with regret.
She kept saying, tell Mr. Fish and Loaves that I was wrong. There are things out here that are worse than the monsters.
Later in this video, we will discuss my theory on Abby's quote here, that people never leave Fromville, even in death. But rather than being broken by this place, can our townsfolk break its curse instead? Will they learn from the past?
Why won't you help us?
Because I tried. With Christopher.
Will they face their fears? Will they protect each other, take care of each other this time around? Starting off with Elgin, he truly believes he's protecting Fatima, that he's doing this for her own good. This boy has gone through to convince himself this is good.
It's not good. It won't do good things.
So far, nothing but bad has come of listening to Kimono Lady and of Fatima's pregnancy. To start, it causes Fatima physical pain. It caused her to kill another person. And it's causing Elgin to break Fatima's trust, sowing discord amongst the townspeople. Fatima knows that what is happening to her is scary, that she needs to take action, face it head on, and not lay down and die. And right now, that means to drink the blood. To survive. And aw, would you look at that? Her little baby bump is showing. Fatima's pregnancy is definitely not on a normal gestation cycle. She knows she doesn't have much time. But maybe this gets Elgin to start thinking about how he's treating Fatima. For now, he heads back into town. We see Tabitha have a that's so Raven moment when she touches Victor's arm. Sarah, who is no stranger to weird visions and shit, immediately knows something is going on with Tabitha. But before Tabitha can even process what happened, she finds out about Julie and her time travel fiasco, so she takes off to check on her daughter. Like her mom, Julie is also trying to process what happened. Was it a dream? It felt so real. It was so scary. The only thing Jim seemed to take away from Julie's story, though, was that she was with Randall. Jim's acting all bad boys too about his daughter right now and takes off to go find that poor guy. And damn, poor guy indeed. He has had more and more cicada attacks as of late, and he's in the middle of one as Jimbo comes through. But surprisingly, for once, Jim's approach comes from a place of wanting to understand, wanting to learn, truly wanting to take care of his daughter, not some cocky father knows best routine. And it gets Randall to be more receptive to the conversation. But he is too scared. He is on the brink of giving up. This place is breaking him.
None of us are getting out of here alive.
I don't accept that.
However, the more this place scares Randall and breaks his spirit, the more we actually see him fix his relationships with others, protect and take care of them. Over in Boyd's neck of the woods, we see his Parkinson's symptoms start to come back. He shares more with Ellis about what the monster said to him when he was with Tian Chen that night.
You said this place couldn't break you. Do you remember that, boy? You don't fucking break me. That's what you said. You think this place can't break you? Let's see.
Boyd is pretty convinced all of this is happening because of him. It's all part of the monster's game to break him. Dumb was just talking about how he knows this place is trying to break him, and he immediately lets the monster get in his head. Seemingly at the exact same time, the monsters get in Sarah's head too. And what do you know? They were also taunting Boyd, laughing, saying Fatima won't be found, despite being nearby, somewhere right under your nose, that you won't save her in time. When Sarah last heard voices, they were also taunting and laughing at Boyd.
It's laughing at you.
What?
For bringing it back to town. For setting it free.
She also heard a voice at the bottle tree, which was Abby.
It doesn't make any sense. She kept saying, tell Mr. Fish and Loaves that I was wrong. There are things out here that are worse than the monsters.
What if it wasn't about other forces or beings from Fromville, but rather something more human, a more emotional thing that could be worse? Regret. I have a working theory about this place. What if once you're here forever until the curse is broken? We know there's an element of time travel, the past happening at the same time as the future. When we see Abby after her death, it was really from when she was alive, in the past. Just like Julie time traveled just in her head, albeit Abby did as well. And her past self saw the repercussions of her future self, of the massacre, and what it did to her family. Abby has to exist for all eternity, knowing she let this place break her connection with others, betray her loved ones. And now that boy, scary bad tree that caused his mom's death and chopped that bitch down. He grabs an axe, but scares the people at the colony house.
You're scared.
He says everyone should be more scared. We heard a very similar statement earlier this season when Boyd was talking to Ghost Khatri.
What do you want me to do? Scream fire? Get everybody panicked?
Maybe they aren't panicked enough. Maybe you aren't panicked enough.
And what happened right after that little combo with Khatri? Oh, yeah, the monsters pulled that trickery with the farm animals and tortured Boyd and Tian Chen. This is a warning to not get comfortable. Don't underestimate this place. Realize that you ain't seen nothing yet and anything can happen. To be ready to face scary things. And look at our boy Ethan's face here. It seems like he's thinking, what the fuck are these people on? It ain't time to act like nothing's happening. It's time to take action. And some, maybe a small bit of normalcy reminds them of what they're fighting for, why they need to protect each other and care for each other. And protect depression, and really rallies the townspeople. He reminds everyone to take care of the people, and the talismans were found. He encourages everyone to also try now, to take care of each other, to find Fatima, no matter how scary. It seems like the tide is once again turning. Boyd is regaining the trust of the people, letting go of regret that if he didn't leave Abby, that she'd be alive.
Hope is what sent you out into the woods that day. Hope is what made you leave me alone when I needed you the most.
We again come back to this quote.
There are things out here that are worse than the monsters.
He can't let this place break the unity of the people here, make them feel guilty for things out of their control, make them ultimately betray each other. And while Boyd is giving his speech, just like you hear about in true crime and serial killer movies, there's our unsub lurking around the investigation. As soon as Boyd suggests everyone pairs up and search, I had a bad feeling that whoever gets paired up with Elgin is toast. And who else to be our lucky winner than Ellis? But Elgin actually tries to comfort Ellis, to reassure Ellis that everything's going to be fine. There's no need to worry. It'll all work out. Ellis, though, is like, nah, I'm not trying to hear that right now. He knows he has to face the scary possibility that Fatima is already beyond saving. But he is going to try still. He's going to take care of her, even if it's just until her bitter end. Now, is Elgin maybe feeling a little bit of regret himself here? Starting to feel bad after hearing about Ellis's mom, Abby? Maybe starting to question what he's doing. Donna and Acosta have paired up as well. And Acosta is still aggressively trying to get answers about this place to placate her fear. Like a lot of people here, she feels so alone, lost, so scared. But you see, the problem is there are no answers that will make her feel better. It's reiterated yet again in this show that this place, Fatima, represents something really important to this town, that Fatima's role was of a caretaker, welcoming newcomers, making sure no one felt alone. Donna somehow manages to melt Acosta's ice-cold heart, and they continue on the search. We also see Boyd rekindle things with Kenny. He shares that his Parkinson's symptoms are back and coming on stronger, and he doesn't know how much more time he realistically has. That he wants Kenny to take over as sheriff and take care of this place once he no longer can. But Kenny rejects that idea. He won't let Boyd lie down and die. Instead, Kenny will be his huckleberry again. Now let's get to my boy Jade. He is creating his own bottle tree when suddenly Christopher and Jasper show up. Now every time this fucker Jasper has scared us with that scream, it's been tied to clues about the children and the story the boy in white told Christopher. For example, Jasper showed up after Jade saw the symbol appear in the colony house. And again, he showed up when Jade was in the tunnels right before he stumbled upon the Ankui kids. Does this mean that Jade is onto something with the bottle tree? That it's related to the story about the children and how to save them? Or perhaps what Tom said is right.
It's just something somebody put there. Sure, it might mean something, yeah. Maybe it's something someone made because they thought it meant something. Maybe it's someone like you. Just look for answers, trying to figure things out. Grasping at straws.
We've seen other characters have parallels here, like we talked about last episode with Jim and Henry. It's like Jim is Henry's counterpart, the next one up to play the role of insecure husband. Or like Tabitha and Miranda, the chosen ones, both sharing the bracelets, the children, the visions. Is Jade Christopher's counterpart? Both were obsessed with the symbols and solving this place. Is Tom alluding to the fact that Christopher made a bottle tree here too, just like Jade, in an attempt to make sense of this place? If Jade would just open up and talk to Henry, if he shared he keeps seeing a ventriloquist dummy, Henry would be like, "Oh no shit, dude, you mean Jasper?" I think the good forces brought Henry here to help our townsfolk learn from the past, to learn from the mistakes made the last time people went through this quest. We later catch up with Victor as he's trying to chop that faraway bottle tree down, but the boy in white shows up to stop him. Victor asks the boy in white why he won't help them. Okay, now back to the search for Fatima. Jim, I see you, dude. I don't know why it took you 3 full seasons, but when you catch on quick. Jim takes Ethan back to the beginning, to the crashed RV where their quest in Fromville began. And Jim also perfectly sums up this place to Ethan, and to us, the audience. And perhaps a parallel. Jim is right. Maybe this is what the boy in white wants them to understand, that they can only figure out on their own by learning from the others who have come here and failed the quest. As Jim and Ethan are leaving the RV, the radio turns on and we hear good old Thomas. The last time we heard Thomas, he was taunting them about Tabitha when her ambulance arrived. Was this perhaps going to be another taunt having to do with Tabitha? Just like the voices to Sarah taunting Boyd about Fatima? We also see Julie and Tabitha sharing a moment while on the search for Fatima. Julie tells Tabitha what happened at the ruins, that she was so scared, so lost, so alone. Tabitha promises Julie she is never alone here. But lady, you and Jim left these kids alone a majority of the time y'all been here. Maybe this is part of where things went wrong with the previous cycle and Miranda, with the original village and the Ankui children. And just then, one of the Ankui kids shows up and beckons the ladies to follow. While everyone is out searching for her, Fatima accidentally finds a handle buried in the ground. It appears to be, dare I say, a hatch? Kimono lady shows up while Fatima is trying to open the door to the hatch, and it seems like she knows Ankui kid is leading Julie and Tabitha right to them. So she smothers this chick to keep her quiet. As Tabitha touches the cellar doors, she has another vision, just like she did when she had touched Victor before at the church. She goes down into the cellar, lost, alone. How Miranda was viciously murdered by the smiley monster. And so it's begun. Like Miranda before her, Tabitha is also having visions of all the chosen ones of this place and how they failed. What will she do? Will she actually learn from their mistakes? Will she understand that she must not leave her loved ones scared and alone? Will she end up like Abby, cursed to exist here forever, full of regret for not taking care of each other, for not facing the scary things? If you made it this far, a huge thank you for watching. I want to hear your thoughts and feedback, so please comment below. Also, consider throwing a like and subscribing to my channel. Your support means the world. Until next time, toodles!